Hi everyone, and thanks for clicking on this video. Today we're learning more about how to use Travelify for Disney properties. We've heard that a lot of agents, like yourselves, are using Travelify to build out their Disney itineraries and proposals. So we put together this training video to give you kind of a jump start into building out these documents for your clients. Travelify works for travel professionals planning Disney vacations for many reasons. First, agents are able to customize their trips, creating their own events and activities to bring their own spin and style to the whole trip. You're also able to provide information about events outside of Disney in the same place, allowing flexibility in the building process. Shopify also is built to save you time with tools like Library and is built to easily navigate and arrange your documents how you see fit. We also have a very professional product that your clients interact with, allowing them to access their schedules and information via a mobile app, the web, or a PDF that you can print out. We're also big on customer support with videos and FAQs like this one and a customer support chat that's available to answer your in the moment questions. So, without further ado, let's just jump into building out some events on a demo trip so you can see how Shopify works with Disney. So, what I'm going to do is actually go to new trip here at the top left and select itinerary. I'm going to go right into settings here on the top left and just start off by naming this trip. So let's say the Anderson family goes to Disney World. And then we're going to include a start date here. Let's see, it's going to be May 15th of 2020. Right there, that Friday. You can include a price or description potentially of the whole package just so that they have a little bit of upfront information when it comes to this itinerary. And then there's a bunch of settings here that you can have control over, just like any other itinerary. I'll hit save changes on the bottom there. What we're going to do is actually start off where I usually start most of my trips off, and that's going to be in new event with a flight. Now, you can add flights like you normally do in any Shopify itinerary or proposal. What I'm going to do is just take the time to type out the flight number here. So let's just find Spirit. And then we have 929 as the number. We're going from O'Hare to the Orlando International Airport. There we go. So you'll see the departures at 4:05 and we're arriving at 7:56. What's really great about flights, again, is that they automatically receive updates. So one of the great benefits about Travify is that not only can you include other events outside of Disney in that same document with all the Disney information, but some of these are going to automatically update for you, like flights. The next thing I'm going to add is going to come from my library. And like I had mentioned before, library is going to be a huge tool to use, especially for your Disney property vacations that you're planning out. Because everything's going to remain the same, you're going to want to keep it in your library after you build it once. Saving it from the itineraries you're building or directly from the library itself is going to be a really great way to save time in the future as you build these things out for your clients. So what I'm going to drag and drop in first is going to be this Disney Magical Express from the airport. I already have some details in there. They're going to be the same every time. I usually, in this instance, in this demo, recommend to my clients that they get their luggage picked up and they don't have to worry about it. It's going to be delivered to their room and then head directly to the Disney's Magical Express where it's going to be located every single time. Maybe I want to go in and add a specific time in here. So these are editable directly from the library, so they can be different every time. So let's say 8:35 p.m. is the time there, and then that's everything I want to include. So just really changing the departure and having that save time, jumping off from a further along starting point for that event is going to be really helpful. Time in and time out. We're going to do the same thing for the next event that I have, which is going to be this check-in at the Walt Disney World Swan. I'm going to drag and drop that in. You'll see the same kind of information pop up. It has the resort information already in there, some pictures, some information I already typed in. And again, all I'm going to do is go in and provide a check-in time. So let's say it's 9:30 p.m. And maybe there's a specific confirmation number I want to include. So I'll do that and I'll hit done editing. Building two events, if I had started from the beginning, would have taken maybe 3, 5, 7 minutes, somewhere in that range. By just dragging and dropping those two, I save some time, and it does add up as you get into more complex or just a bulk of itineraries that you are creating. So I'm going to go into the next day here. We have everything on the 15th. I'm going to go into the 16th and start planning out more of this Disney trip. And so this is going to be centered around Magical Kingdom. We're in the first theme park. I want to include right at the beginning some fast pass information. So again, kind of using the same method I have been using through Disney is pulling directly from my library for my fast pass information. You'll see I have a template already set up where I can just list out the 3 fast passes that I have for this first theme park. So let's say we're doing Space Mountain, and then we're doing Peter Pan's Flight, and we're doing Pirates of the Caribbean. So what we're doing here is just utilizing this as some information right at the top. You'll see there is a reminder about being on time to avoid missing all of those fast passes that you have. So I'll just hit done editing, and I filled that in pretty quickly. What I want to do now is actually add in an activity at a specific time for the first fast pass, which is going to be Space Mountain. So I'll go to the activity up here at the top, and what I'll do is start with a title, which is going to be Fast Pass for Space Mountain. I can include some notes here. I don't have any for this one, actually, so I'm not going to include any notes. But if you wanted to provide some details about what Space Mountain is or whatever happens to be, I actually do have one here. I think the height requirement is going to be somewhere around 44 inches. So just as a note, I want to include that. So potentially you want to inform your clients of that just in case. And then the fast pass time is going to be 9:25 a.m. So I can include all that information in there. Maybe I want to go in and add some pictures, or I want to add a document, whatever that happens to be. But the basic information is already going to be there. I can go in and save that to my library directly from the bottom left if I wanted to save this fast pass for Space Mountain, which seems to be a popular fast pass choice for Magical Kingdom. I'll hit done editing there and just have that event built in there for the first day in Disney. The next thing I'm going to do is actually add in a dinner. So let's go into new event again. We'll go into activity and go into food and drink. Let's say this is Gaston's Tavern. We can include some notes about the menu items that are included or how this works with the meal plan, whatever that happens to be. And let's say there's another time as well. So let's say it's 7 p.m. I can be sure to include other notes. Let's say I want to make this a little more personal, and that's one of the reasons I think Travefy works really well with Disney is that you can add your own touch, your own flair, your own personal branding to this document that is going to be with your clients throughout the trip. So maybe I want to really let them know that there's going to be a traveler tip or Disney professional tip. So Disney professional tip. And I'm going to bold that and then just include it right after. So let's say I'm going to unbold that actually. Be sure to check out, or let's say try LeFou's Brew. Let's say we want to include something like that, kind of showing that you have some insider knowledge, something that makes this trip a little bit more special for your clients. That's one of the great benefits of using Travefy over any other solution when it comes to providing this information to your clients as they're traveling. I'm going to hit done editing there. And then I'm going to pull in one more event, and this is going to be, let's see here, where in my library is this going to be? Oh, maybe I can't find it. So I'm going to just type in the chat or type into the search bar here, anything that's labeled Disney. Oh, there it is. I do have Happily Ever After Fireworks Show. So there is ways to organize your library items by labels, which is going to be a really great helpful thing for you. I have already a library item built around the Happily Ever After Fireworks Show. Again, you can see how personalized it is because I do have a good rule of thumb, and you really should be somewhere in front of the show on Main Street USA. There's a picture of a map. I found a really cool picture online that I wanted to include. This also provides you a really great way to include a lot of information directly in through pictures, whether it's your own pictures or pictures that you found on the internet that work really well for you. I think that's a really great thing to include. And then let's say I want to go in and add some other pictures in here. So I'm kind of making it a little bit more personal as well. I'm going to go down to multimedia in the Space Mountain event that I had created here. I could include a picture from our search database, which is our royalty-free database there. Upload, website, copy and paste. I don't really want to include a picture though. I want to include a video. I want to embed something in there that gets my clients excited, gets them ready for the trip, and kind of shows them what to expect. So I have a YouTube link here for Space Mountain in Disney World that I can actually embed directly into this event and add that video in. This is a video, a POV video of Space Mountain. Someone's actually riding through, so it's only 3 minutes long, but it can help with the sales process and proposals. It can help get your clients excited about the trip. So kind of a cool thing to add and something we recently just put in. When it comes to other ways to include pictures, where you can include pictures, I think the cover photo could be a really great spot to use this royalty-free database that I mentioned earlier. So let's type in a generic term like Disney World, and you'll see a bunch of selections that you have access to include in this itinerary. So I think the castle is very iconic. I want to include that in. So I'm just going to make that our cover photo, just kind of showing you where you can put photos and videos in and how you can use those. Turning back over to the build process of this trip, I do want to go into, let's say, maybe the next day and kind of show again the flexibility of Travefy by creating a new event and going to activity. And let's say we're not sticking to Disney World today. We're actually going to Universal Studios. And we want to show off maybe Harry Potter World, whatever happens to be. This allows you, again, to have the flexibility to include things outside of Disney, all in the same mobile app, all in the same web, or all in the same PDF, without having to bounce back and forth between various things. So any information you want to include about Orlando or any other theme park that your clients are going to is going to be really helpful when you put it in. When it comes to sending it off to your clients, it's a very easy process. You'll hit send like any other invite and invite your clients to this trip, inviting them to view the information that you have put together. That preview up at the top right is going to show you the web version of the itinerary where your clients can go in and download the PDF to print it out or find the correct mobile app on their phones to use the itinerary while they're traveling. This gives you really great flexibility on who you can sell to and how they can access that information. Again, a benefit for Travefy. When it comes to support, again, I do like to touch on that at the very end. It's really important that we're there for you. So if you do have any questions, go ahead and reach out to Travefy directly, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Time. We're available to have any conversation with you, whether you're asking a question or you want to learn more about how to use Travefy for your Disney travel. If you have any questions, go ahead and reach out there. We also have videos just like this one, FAQs, lots of different resources for a lot of different items that have to do with using Travefy and using it to the full benefit. I want to thank you for taking the time today to learn just a little bit more about how to use Travefy for Disney, and thank you for taking the time.